Welcome everybody to week 9 of Ye Old Quarantine. It's a special week so far, mostly because, and you may have noticed this if you happen to check the time for this video, it is Tuesday right now. I have skipped over both Sunday and Monday. I'm barely doing Tuesday because it's like 11:50 something right now. It's been an interesting week, mostly just trying to catch up on sleep and really get myself into a legit schedule. And so, Sunday? Yeah, I think so Sunday I actually did something. Sunday I filmed 2 more episodes of The Deadly Tower of Monsters. I actually uploaded one of the episodes today. I edited it yesterday. I also got high yesterday, but I realized, I was like, oh crap, when I was filming on Sunday, I didn't think about it yesterday, of course, and I was like, oh dang, I don't have any batteries because my thing is at one, which it doesn't show an actual percentage just because it's so old. It's not really high tech enough to be like, this is the actual percentage of battery life. It's just a thing where, old school battery indicators is just like, it starts off with 4 little lines and then it just goes down until it's 1. And I would assume it goes down to none. And that's when you're probably at 10% or less. But I didn't really know for sure. So I was like, okay, I don't want to risk it where it goes off, especially because I do hour-long episodes. I was like, odds are it'll probably end up going off on me, or I'll only end up doing 1 episode. So I did end up filming last night, although I did end up taking an edible, and I was like, dang, I forgot about that. Going through the day I was doing other stuff, and so I just forgot when it actually came time to record. I was like, I forgot about that. And that was also kind of later at night. It wasn't in the middle of the day, which is what I did on Sunday. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is get my schedule kind of back to normal, attempt to go to sleep at a somewhat decent time. It'll probably be about 12:30 or so, because I'm probably gonna I want to exercise because I need to. So I'm probably gonna do a legit minute amount of exercise, maybe only 10 minutes or so, anything legit. And so I'll probably end up doing that before going to sleep, just so that I'm good. And then I'll try to do some sporadic exercise throughout the day tomorrow. But my plan is to try to get my my daily schedule back to normal, film in the middle of the day as if it's a work week, and then edit at night. And if I decide to, I won't edit. If I don't want to edit, then I'll probably work on something else. I realize I can take the time, if I actually get a legit schedule going. That's always my simplest thing. Whenever I get a schedule, that's when I do my best. And then once the schedule's thrown off, I'm totally screwed. So I was like, I need to make a schedule, edit, do my high videos during the earlier parts of the day, as if kind of normal work hours, and then later probably exercise. I might do that and throw it in as if I was coming back from work, which was typically around 6 or so I might do that and exercise around 6:37 and try to that way, because I know for sure that's what will happen once I go back to work. That's what it's going to be I'm going to get off work, and because of well, actually, now I think about it, traffic, who knows what traffic will be like. I was thinking of course, classic rush hour, but I don't think everybody's going to be back when I first go back to work. I don't think everyone, people will still have the option. So it'll be interesting to see, because I'll notice the difference. Obviously you can tell when you drive now, you notice the difference on the road. Although once it hit summer, I feel like it picked up again. And plus it's been a couple weeks, so people are probably a bit more, blasé about it. It's like, all right, I've been indoors long enough, I'm good. Or people being pseudo careful, stuff like that. So I feel like it's fairly normal when I drive, but who knows, rush hour might not really be a thing right now, and when I go back it still might not be that crazy. But I'll figure out my exercise schedule. For now, I just need to exercise at the very least, because I haven't really done a legit exercise in days. So I'm probably gonna end up doing that tonight, take my shower, and then I'll be good for the morning. And then I'll try to just figure out whatever that I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna fold, because I still have clothes just sitting on the couch. And I thought I was going to do that. I folded some stuff up, and I caught up on Blind Spot today because the final season started. So I was like, oh man, I forgot about that. So I went on Hulu, I watched the first 2 episodes, and I was folding a little bit when I started, and then I just stopped, and I was just watching the show. And that was pretty much all that happened. I stopped folding, so I have stuff just sitting over there on the couch. As normal, the usual method of cleaning clothes. You don't really tend to fold them too much. So that's mostly what happened. I actually filmed. Like I said, I edited yesterday. I uploaded today. I'm going to edit last week's vlog. I'm going to actually do that tomorrow. And that's pretty much the only plan. The only real big thing that's happened outside of that is I actually did end up going outside. I went to my dad's. I actually got a mask from him, which if I had it over here, I would show you guys, because it's from it's a company called Detroit, of course, made in Detroit. So I'll have that tomorrow. tossed it somewhere. It's probably like, near the front door. So I had that. I wore that out because I actually went and I stocked up again on food. So I went up to Walmart. I didn't get a ton of stuff this time because I didn't really need a ton of things. Unfortunately, the biggest thing I needed was to return that stupid Death Stranding Collector's Edition, but apparently they don't accept games that are open, which is a really weird policy to me, and I also think it's very stupid, because the woman even said, she was like, I personally don't care, it's just the rule of the thing. She was like, but we take consoles all the time. And I was like, that's really confusing, because a console could infinitely have more issues to it, and it's much harder to detect because it would be on the inside. I could literally just be like, I could pour water into it, they're just gonna open it and check it. If it's dry when you tip it over, it'll just be like, okay, you could just say you wanted to return it, and then that's all there is to it. So I don't know, it's just really interesting. It was like they wouldn't take it back, so now I have to like call 1-800 Walmart or whatever. So that'll probably be like 3 or 4 hours of my day, because we know how that goes. Especially now, it'll probably, oddly enough, it'll probably take even longer, because who knows how many random issues are sparking up. So now I have to do that, and that should be fun. I'm sure that'll be fun. So I did, that was like my first thing. I was like, all right, I'll take this in, return it. Didn't work, so I had to take it back, and then I had to go back in because I actually did my shopping. So I got my batteries, I got another thing of milk, I got some cereal, I actually got some Tricks because I haven't had Tricks in a while, and they're still out of Fruity Pebbles, which is very sad. They were out last time too. I was like, man, I just want some Fruity Pebbles. So I just like, I haven't had Tricks in a long time, so I got some Tricks. I actually got 2 things of ice cream. I got Cinnamon Toast Crunch ice cream. That just sounded good because I thought it's cinnamon and that would be great. I love the cereal, so I was like, I'm sure I'll like the ice cream. Cinnamon and vanilla is always a good mix. I think I actually used to do that in general. If I had like vanilla, I would sometimes put cinnamon in it, and I used to do that for pancakes too. I would melt butter. Like if we didn't have syrup, I would melt butter and then put like some sugar and cinnamon in the butter and mix it around, and that would be like my syrup substitute. So cinnamon is good, and I like Cinnamon Toast Crunch as a cereal. I'm sure I'll like it as an ice cream. The other thing I got is actually what I wanted last time when I was talking about, I had the Reese's, I think it was Reese's Pieces mixed with Reese's Peanut Butter Cup ice cream. So it was chocolate and vanilla. So this time I just got Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, and it's just, straight vanilla. So I was like, that's exactly what I wanted last time, so I'm going to pick up both of those. So I did that. Got more hot dogs, of course. I'm going to try to make an attempt. I need to eat the fish. I haven't eaten a single piece of fish. All that fish I got, I was like, this would be my thing. I'll stock up. I'll have fish. Hasn't happened. Also, recently got pizza as well. I shouldn't have went in my email. I'm signed up for like Marco's. It's a thing we have here. I don't know if Marco's is like across the whole country, but we have Marco's here. I really like their pizza, and so because I'm signed up for the newsletter thing and them and Pizza Hut as well as Domino's, I'm always getting the emails like, oh, this much, that much, and Marco's will always have some random thing, and it's fairly common, I would say. And sometimes it'll be like, there's 20% off, and then I just happened to go through and I was like, oh, let me just look up Marco's. I don't remember. I must have seen something else related to pizza, and it made me think of Marco's. So I just typed it in Google, in my Gmail, and the coupon came up, and it was like 30% off. And so I paid like $15 for an extra large meat lovers pizza, and I added pepperonis to it, or added jalapeno peppers to it. So it only cost me like $15 for like this insanely large pizza, and I was like, shouldn't have done that. Didn't need it. I had 3 freaking days worth of hot wings last week because I got 40F and boneless wings. I ended that off with a spicy burger from Wendy's. So I was like, I've been real screwing up, which great reason for me to do the exercise thing. Trying to get my sleep schedule back to normal. I find myself not really doing anything at night. Like I typically like, the night comes and then I just go straight to sleep. So it's like, I should exercise beforehand. Even though I hate it, I know I won't do it in the morning. So I kind of just have to, even though it keeps me up later. It just makes more sense. Like at the very least, I'll have the exercise in, so I should at least do that. And it probably helps just a tiny bit to kind of, work through, maybe 0.5%, not even close to 0.5% of all the calories I've taken in today. Because exercise, you have to do 8 trillion things just to work off like, 1 burger. And I've had 4 slices of pizza today, so no, I would have to exercise for quite a while to work that off. I'm sure. I don't even bother with the calories. I'm just like, I try to keep it minimal, and once pizza hits, it's like, that's it, you lose. But it's delicious, so that's good. But got to get back into my exercise. Got to get my routine down for sure, because I think that's the key. I don't know what happened. I just had like this crazy epiphany, like, if I just treat it like actual work, I'll be fine. I've been doing terrible. I was keeping up, and then last week was actually just bad in general, like the crazy sleep schedule. That wasn't even me just going to sleep late. There were things just out of my control that happened. Yeah, and it was just like I was just up super late, and so it just messed me up even worse. And that's why I was so far behind, because I'd be like so tired. I was like, I don't want to do it super late. And then I think that's what led to the epiphany, like, I'm just so tired at night. And then I was like, if I just go to sleep earlier, I'll get up earlier, and then I'll just film earlier. So simple, so simple. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, got a mask, went out, got pizza yesterday. That's really about it. The only other thing that's actually happened is I've constantly checked eBay because, of course, just to see if anything's updated. It's kind of torture because it's just like you never know when anything's coming in. It's always like this close because it's like, oh, that thing's in Detroit. That's like 30 minutes away, but that, it's not going to take 30 minutes to get here because it has to go through a trillion other processes, and everything just gets lost in junk anyway. So everything, I'm just kind of like, we'll see what happens when it happens. The one thing that I was mentioning before in the last podcast, last vlog, I should say, where I was like, this one specific thing is happening or coming. It actually did. It actually got here. I think it was on Monday. In fact, it got here on Monday. I just haven't. There's like a specific thing that I want to do as I show it off, so you guys will see that tomorrow. I had to actually work on it. Like the first day I got it, that was a big part of why it wasn't in the video. I was like, I have to make sure I do this very particular thing that I want to do before I show it. And then the night kind of just got away from me where I was like, oh, I think I'll film. And then I was just like, it's more important to film for the channel than to specifically do this because I make these like way too long anyway. So I was like, I can skip a couple days because it's not like these videos go up every day. So I was like, I'll just do, less days for the week. So hopefully I don't ramble too much and somehow manage to make it 2 hours long, even missing 2 full days. But that's pretty much it. So tomorrow I will show you guys the mask, and I will also be showing off the very epic item that I got. And that might be it, depending on when I actually do it, because I probably will work on stuff. I typically like to do these later in the day anyway, because of stuff like that, especially knowing that I have things coming in. That's a big part of why I don't like doing it in the morning when I'm like, okay, this is what I plan on doing today. It's better to do it kind of like now where it's like the day is over. This is everything that's happened. Granted, this is, 2 days behind, so this is everything that has happened. But that's typically why I end up doing these like super late at night, or if I know something isn't really going to happen, or if I already got something delivered, that's when I'll typically do it, when it's still bright out. But I might, we'll see what happens. I guess it also depends on when I wake up. A lot of factors. Odds are it'll probably still be nighttime by the time I do this tomorrow. And hopefully if I do my schedule right, that'll be fine, because that'll mean I already filmed. Also, a big thing with filming, I screwed up, and because of the crazy sleep schedule and everything, I have to activate my PS Plus subscription, the one that I bought like the full year thing. That was a little debate I had today as well, because yesterday it expired. And when I was going to record last night, even before the battery thing, I was like, oh crap, my PS Plus expired. And I saw the lock thing on the Deadly Tower Mosh Pit. So I was like, dang, I wanted to beat it beforehand because I wanted to save my PS Plus, because I didn't really plan on doing a ton of videos through PS Plus, and I also don't want to just play online a bunch, which I can easily get sucked into because I never play online. So it's, obviously that human factor, it always keeps you in. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to do that. So I'm probably going to wait until later in the day to actually end up recording those videos. So we'll see how it all turns out, because I really want to get like the most out of it, which I did think about it, of course. We're in quarantine. It's probably like the perfect time to utilize, a full year subscription, and maybe, it'll just be more videos for the channel. I'll just utilize it maybe once a week or twice a week. I'll just film just some silly online stuff and, just do Uncharted online just to have something that, to utilize the online. So that'll be that. Also, there are still the other video games, I should say, that I can download that I've had on PS Plus before. The other one I think I mentioned on here, but I definitely mentioned on that channel, Not a Hero. Of course, running out of time, I haven't even played it, so I was like, well, that might just be the thing. That might just be the next game, because I'm like, I might as well utilize it, since it's there. So we'll see what happens. But all in all, that's kind of what happened. Filmed, edit, upload. Need to do some more editing, of course. That's pretty much all I end up doing, because that's all I'm doing here. I'm just stuck. So that's pretty much it. That is Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And probably at this point technically the beginning of Wednesday, but I will see you guys later. Welcome to later, everybody. I should have moved this before I started. It's like my little bag of posters. Sorry that we're in the bedroom right now and it's just, generic white wall, empty space background, but apparently they decided to cut grass. I don't know what they were doing earlier because I heard them outside, so I guess they were just using weed whackers or something because I heard them out in the front, like I could hear them through my door, and then I could hear them through the window at the same time while I was watching TV, and I was like, okay, I'm being attacked on all fronts, so they're doing the grass. I thought that was over. That had to have been like an hour or 2 hours ago or something, so I just assumed that's what was happening, cutting the grass out front, cutting the grass out back at the same time. Makes sense. It's just, different people, same company, they're just doing everything. So I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, all right, I've sat around enough. It is currently, let's see what time it is. So it's 4:18. So I was like, all right, it's definitely late enough in the day. It's time to, kind of get things going. I folded laundry. That was pretty much all I did today. So I did laundry. I did laundry yesterday, technically. I just folded it all today, as I mentioned last night. So I folded that, and I put some stuff up. There's still stuff on the couch after, like, all the stuff that I hang up, I tend to do last. So there's still a couple things on the couch, but I folded, and I was watching some stuff, watching Comics Explained on YouTube. I like that channel. So I was watching some random stuff, and I was like, all right, cool. I ate some more pizza. Had little tricks this morning for breakfast. Simple stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to start filming now, do this before doing the gaming videos and stuff like that. Turn everything off because when I do this, I try to do as much as I can to save what little money I have. So I always turn off all my stuff, like typically. Like I mentioned, I think it was either last week or the week before last, I mentioned like normally I turn everything off, but like I was watching Back to the Future and I was like, screw it, I'll leave it on. But normally, especially because I ramble, for like 20 minutes straight, I was like, I might as well turn everything off and save myself, a little bit of money. So that's what I did. Turned everything off, setting up, and I'm like, cool. And then I hear a lawnmower outside, and I'm like, well, that can't be right. And I look out there, dude's on the riding lawnmower, just going back and forth. So they must have been using weed whackers, I guess. So that was interesting. Also saw a couple of other interesting things looking outside. There was a guy fishing in the little lake. He wasn't like in a boat. He was just like standing on the edge, just, throwing his little line out there. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. Eventually he left because the dude's going around cutting grass. But there are also ducklings walking around. And so the guy would have to stop because, the ducklings were there. So there were like some ducklings that got in the water and like he stopped. And then once they all got in, they like followed their parent. And it was like, it was classic. It was like a straight line and they're all going in the water and stuff. So he goes around, does this thing. And then as he was coming back, I would assume it was the same ducklings. But he was coming back and he saw them and he stopped. And so I looked down and I was like, oh, like, they were literally like right outside my door, like just off the little concrete path. And so there was like, I don't know the difference between male and female ducks, but I would assume the female duck is what the ducklings follow. And then the male duck is like ahead, kind of like as a scout sort of deal. So I'll just assume that's how it was. So the duck hunting duck, because it was like classic with the colors and everything, it was a little bit ahead. And then the ducklings were following the mom. And it was like a perfect straight line. I was like, that's super cute. And just like a bunch of ducklings going along and doing their thing. And then he, proceeded to cut the grass after they moved. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Saw a dude fishing, saw some ducklings. It was neat. Sadly, had to transfer into here because, like I said, didn't want to do plain background. I try to be in here as little as possible. But and I think it sounds like he's done, but I can't really hear it from here. But I didn't want to take the chance, especially after I'd already moved everything. And I did check for a split second, and I heard him go past, so he might officially be done. And then I could have been outside, considering how much time it took to move and all that good stuff. But anyway, today was interesting. I got a package in, so that was cool. I got the Alan Wake Collector's Edition. 10 years of this game. 10 years. So, highly recommend you check it out. I mentioned that before on the day. It's one of my favorite games of all time, but I had to get the Collector's Edition. Of course, the main character, Alan Wake himself, he's a novelist, so that's why this just looks like a giant book, so that's super cool. I have no idea where I'm going to put this, because typically, my thing is like, okay, well, I have Alan Wake, and technically, I kind of have a steel book. It's not really steel, but this is the, actually, let me do it this way. I kind of wish you guys could see my table. Like, I realize when I look at my phone, like, I'm just, like, my hands are just down here. You can't see anything, but it's, like, right there. So this is the soundtrack. Okay, so this is the soundtrack and the bonus disc, actually. This isn't even the game. The game is in its own thing. So that wouldn't even go with my collector's edition cases or my steel books. Let's see, which one is the game? Did I already take the game? I don't know. It doesn't matter, because technically I already have the game. I only bought this because I wanted the actual collector stuff. Okay, this is the game. This is the game right here. So that's interesting. It looks like the PC version because it doesn't have the labels, which I actually like. I think that would be awesome if you could always get a console edition of a game, and it just kind of has like the PC version. Although I don't like the fact that it's blank on the back, and that is because like a lot of collector's editions, they put what would normally be on the front, which is like, because I took it out of the sleeve, of course, so it's the classic front. So it's this, but it has the 360 logo at the top, and all around it's the white 360 logo, and it has all the stuff on the back. So it's interesting to have this open, and it's cool. This person has like everything with it. Once again, it didn't really matter, at least game wise. Do not discard game add-on content. There's that. Of course, it's used, but if you want to give it a shot, there you go. Don't know. Yeah, I'm sure that's used, considering it's ripped open. Just saying. But if you want to go for broke, why not? But yeah, I recently bought the game. I think I mentioned that for the like $1.50 that it cost me. So I have it on Steam. So I'm definitely going to end up playing that for the channel, especially 10-year anniversary. But that is the game. This is the, like I said, soundtrack and bonus disc, which I believe has commentary stuff. So I'm definitely going to check this out for sure, because especially for games I love going through the concepts of like, what was in the game initially that they put out, or that they took out, I should say, all that sorts of stuff. So I always love those things. And then what I would consider the pièce de résistance is the Alan Wake files, compiled by Clay Stewart. This is like, actually, I'll just see. Let's see how many pages we got here. There's an afterword. Okay, 125. So then 26, 27. So 127 pages. Let's see what's on here. Okay, 129, including the afterword. So 129, maybe, if you want to count the back here with nothingness. 130 pages, which I think is what they do. 130-page book, The Alan Wake Files. Let's see what this little slipcover is hiding, because I actually haven't looked at this yet. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that really reflects. I like that. I guess it's just a torch. It would be a candle. Interesting. I'm not 100% sure, but I love this. It's really cool. It's characters within the world, so it's not like it's not like they made this and it's like, this is a cool, story of Alan Wake and, extra bonus stuff. It's like, this is like the Alan Wake Files is within the world, so it's actually really cool. So they have like references and stuff or not references, but they have quotes and things like that. The Whole Truth newsletter. Mr. Stewart's investigative work serves as a forceful example to truth seekers everywhere. His ever-questioning mind probes into matters most of us would prefer left untouched. An inspirational and frightening account of his journey. 4 stars, and that's the Whole Truth newsletter. So they got a couple of those. They're like 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 5 of those. 5 of these little things right here. Provocative, unnerving, spellbinding. Kept me up for more than a few nights. Ted Mitchell, author of Sasquatch. That's cool. So I really like this. It says the cover photograph is by Barry Wheeler. That, of course, is Alan Wake. Barry is Alan's best friend. So that's kind of cool. It's like, he took a picture of his buddy and stuff like that. So that's actually cool. They even have like the little, the author's note and stuff like that, where it's like, this is who wrote the book and things like that. So this is really cool. I love this. I can't wait to go through this and see what it is. I might go through this. I'm probably going to go through this after I beat the game again, because I feel like this will get into a lot of concepts. I mean, I probably haven't played the game in 10 years or so, because I think I only played through it. Like, it's one of those, it's funny. It's one of those games, I love the crap out of this game. I probably only played it twice. Like, I probably only beaten the game like 2 times, and then I was done with the game. I went through it, normal, and then I went hardcore with it. And I literally couldn't find the last page that you had to find in the whole game. I had 1 manuscript page missing through the whole thing. Like, as far as collectibles, I think I literally had every single thing except for like the last manuscript page. So I found everything else in that game except that one thing. So that's always there. It's always that funny memory. But I'm definitely going to play it again because, of course, it's been forever. So I'll probably save this for after I do that, just because, like I said, it'll probably give me insight to the characters, and I'll be like, oh, I remember this and I remember that, and then it'll kind of spoil it a little bit, because there's a lot of good content you can forget in 8 years, or 10 years. So that'll be fun to play. I'm definitely looking forward to that. So that'll be really cool. I don't know when I'm going to do that, because I still have to go through like the Tower of Deadly Monster stuff and renewing my PS Plus. So I'll go through that. All the stuff I got on Steam, Epic Games. I don't think I mentioned this yet, but it might be too late anyway. But hopefully you got it. If not, I apologize for like throwing this out there. But they had they're doing like their epic mega sale or whatever, and they had GTA 5 Premium Edition for free. It like killed the servers for a long time when they put it out there because it was like, holy crap, GTA 5 Premium Edition is free for people online, and I loved it. I was super happy because I haven't played GTA 5 since PS3 because I got it for the PS3. So when the PS4 version came out and the PC stuff, and it was like, oh yeah, you can do like first person mode. I thought that was across the board. And then I was like, oh man, I'm gonna play. I was like, I'm gonna play GTA 5 because I would love to play GTA in a first-person mode. Like, especially with the details they have, like all the cars, all the interiors. You see people's hands. Everything looks amazing. So I was like, I have to check this out. And that's when I found out after a super long download that the first-person mode isn't even in the PS3 version. That's only PS4 and PC. So I was super happy because I've always wanted to actually enjoy it and just go back to GTA 5 and play first-person. That can also lead to some really great content for the channel because it's GTA. You just do dumb things and mods and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that. I have no clue when I'll actually even play that. It probably won't be anytime soon, but I'm still looking forward to it because that was awesome. So I can't wait to see what the next game is. I hope it's something really big. It'll if it's in the same vein like most of the free games that they do. It's older, but it tends to be like more indie games. This is probably like the first AAA title where they're like, boom, it's free, and of course it's GTA 5, so everybody was on it. But I'm excited to see what the next game is going to end up being, but looking forward to Alan Wake, looking forward to getting back into GTA, see the updated version, new graphics, all the mods. Mods, of course, are the number one thing, but I'm excited for that, and we'll see what happens next. But I have like all the games I downloaded on the Epic Game Store that I got for free. I actually recently bought 2 games off of there because they were like $10, and it was because I was buying or is because I had the $10 coupons. Like when you download GTA 5, they instantly gave you a $10 coupon to buy on, to spend on other games. So I was like, okay. And that had happened before where I had a $10 coupon. So I was like, all right, what games can I get? And it only cost me like $10. Games that were, in my head. And I was like, all right, if I'm saving $10, I'm only spending 10, I'll get the games right now. So I ended up getting, can't remember the name. I think it's called like Afterlife or something. It's the game where the 2 people go to hell. And it's like a choose your own adventure type of game where you like pick certain drinks and it leads to certain reactions and stuff like that. I always thought that was interesting. Like these 2 people have to outdrink the devil, and that will allow them to escape hell. So I always thought, like when I saw that trailer for the first time, I was like, that seems really entertaining and silly. And I was like, I want that game. So ended up getting that, and then I also got the game Superliminal, which is the one, if you guys haven't seen it, it's the like perspective, like the crazy perspective puzzle game where you can pick up an item, and then if you back up or if you look up, it'll look bigger than the things around it, and then it actually becomes bigger. So like based on how you move objects, like the perspective is the actual thing. So if it started off tiny and then you just back up and it makes it look bigger than the wall that it was in front of, then now it's bigger than the wall it was in front of. So I was like, I would love to play that while high. Might be terrible, might be fun, who knows. So eventually I'll get to that as well. But I bought those 2 games, but I'm looking forward to whatever the next free game is going to be. I got a bunch of them from Christmas, which I think I mentioned that a couple weeks back, where they were doing like every single day was a brand new game. And I think I downloaded all of them. I think there's only been like 1 or 2 games I've ever skipped on because I'm like, I just know I won't play it. Like just me, like just looking at a certain game, I'm like, I'm not gonna play like a top-down RPG or RTS type game. Those just aren't my style. So I just won't bother downloading them. Like even if they're free, it's like if I know I'll literally never play it because it's not even that type of game that I would play. Especially considering all the other games I have downloaded that I still haven't played just on Steam alone. I'm like, I know I'm not gonna get to this. I'm not even interested in it now, let alone the backlog of games that I do want to play, which I still haven't gotten to. So, I've only skipped on like a couple of games, so I'm excited to see what the next mega sale free game is going to end up being. So that should be pretty awesome. I hope it's, of course, I hope it's a game I don't already have, and if I do, then I hope it's like the super cool updated version with all the graphics and everything like that. And I'd probably get that again for free anyway, just because the PC element of it all, it makes it easier to record, higher graphics, all that good stuff. So if it's one of those types of games that I really enjoy, I'll just do it again anyway. But I wanted to talk about that. That's mostly been the day. So the other thing, because this came in today, the Alan Wake thing, the thing that I wanted to talk about, like the big item or whatnot, I actually have my music in here. That was a part of why it took so long to do all the transfer, because I was moving like my record player and all that stuff. So let's see where I actually ended up getting this at. That means I did good because it started at the very beginning at least. Also, this is the first time I'm playing this record, so we'll see if it skips, because I've tested out a couple, and I need to dust off my records. Like the new ones I got, I think they're dusty, so I need to dust those off, and I think I need a new needle. for my record player as well, because I would love to. I need like a diamond needle. And that's just, the heavier the needle, the easier it is for it to like go through the record. It won't like skip. That actually scared the crap out of me. It won't cause bumps, and I don't know if I actually talked about that. I probably did. In case I didn't, tested out some of the records. The Doom record was way too hardcore, and it was like bumping and skipping a bunch because it's insane hardcore rock music, and it's just like, and it just caused the needle to keep skipping because it's not heavy enough. So I think I need, for some of my records, I'm gonna have to replace this needle, and I'm gonna have to get a new one. So this is actually, where's my thing? This is Resident Evil, by the way, and so the reason, Resident Evil and everything, this is very intense. I like it. So the reason for playing Resident, are they gonna shoot? What is this? I think this is the music in the opening. Is just no dialogue. I think this is them like finding the body and pulling up the gun, and then the dogs attack them, and they're still in the forest. But it's weird because it's just the audio, and is that the music for that? Holy crap. Interesting. Okay, anyway, that's like throwing me off because I was expecting totally different music to start. So that's kind of throwing me off that that's where it begins. But either way, loving that. This was the item that I got in. It's not a real gun. It's an airsoft gun. This is the Stars RPD Samurai Edge. I love it. It's freaking amazing. I think I'm gonna have to turn that down. I have no idea how the audio is gonna come in because I don't do stupid things like this, like play music in the actual video as I'm talking, because that's dumb. But Resident Evil, you got to do it. So I had to play the music. First time I'm playing it, so now I can finally go through and play Resident Evil 2 once I officially go through. Oh, that sounded like a skip. Either way, it's fine. But yeah, got myself a nice replica blowback pistol of the Star Samurai Edge. Now this isn't a specific character Samurai Edge, which is why it just looks like this, like it's normal. So I went online, and I realized, so this is the thing, I think I mentioned, well actually no, I didn't, because I didn't want to say what this specific item was. So, not that it's going to shoot, I don't have BBs in it. And also, I took this off because it came with an orange tip. So that's what I mentioned before, where I was like, I had to do something very specific last night. It was that I had to take this off. So I wasn't ready to show it because I wanted to show it like this and not with like the ugly orange tip on it. I think I did an okay job. I didn't do it like I wanted to because I watched a YouTube video and they're like, you pinch the end and you can actually twist them out. And it even comes with a piece. Like it literally has a piece that you screw back into it. It's like a black piece and you screw it in and then you can add attachments. Like if I wanted to put like a suppressor on it and stuff like that, I could put the little piece in where the orange piece used to be and then I could add attachments to it. So like they specifically sold it and was like, here's this black piece. We're not saying what to do with it or anything, but if you happen to totally rip off the, the orange ending that we have for you, the orange tip, then maybe, you can throw this bad boy on there and then add other stuff to it. So that's what that was for. Like they literally sold it that way. So I think this is great. I had to pick it up. I've only ever had one other blowback gun before, and it wasn't mine. I was like borrowing it from a friend. But I love this thing, and I was just like, I have to have it because it's Resident Evil, and I'd always look for it. And so the crazy story about me getting this gun is that I'd always known that it was a thing. I always knew that there was like the replica Samurai Edge gun. The thing I didn't know is that they made modern versions of it. So I was on eBay, and like all the time I've ever been looking this thing up, it's always been, I want to get this specific gun because I always thought it was sold out. It was always like, you have to like get, like when I went to Japan, that was one of the things I was looking for, was to get like a Samurai Edge, because I was like, that's the only place you can get one for real, because you can't find those things anymore. Well, that's too far. So I was looking it up. I found it on eBay. I found it for a decent price. I bought the gun, and then I think that was the second story. So maybe I did talk about this. I don't know if I specifically mentioned it was the gun. I think I just mentioned it was an item that I wanted, and it was this. I bought the gun, much like the Death Stranding thing, and then it was like, oh, sorry, the warehouse is shut down. So we have this model if you want it, and it was the silver, I think Chris's model is technically like the full silver version. And I was like, no, because I wanted Jill's version, or at least something that was similar to hers. So this isn't hers because her thing has like bright blue instead of like the dark blue. That's why this is more like a standard Stars RPD Samurai Edge. And if you got the actual Jill Valentine, I think it's Tokyo Maru version, it would say Kendo on this side. It would be like Kendo custom. So I still want that. I would love to have that, but it's also like $500. Oh, okay. That just ended, and I was like, I think it just skipped the whole thing. Interesting. I need to really look up like the soundtrack for this because I don't know where the save theme is, because that's like the only song that I would really care to hear that much. But yeah, so I was looking this stuff up, and I always thought it was always just super old, out of stock. And it turns out you can get these from WeTech.com. Or yeah, I think it's just WeTech.com. So if you're interested in picking up a Samurai Edge, you can just get them off of WeTech. It'll be this specific version. They had a two-tone version, but that one sold out. I like this better because like I said, I wanted it to look more like Jill's. So I wanted it to be closer to like just the jet black and everything. And it's basically exactly like hers, except the emblem is darker and hers is like a light blue, which is something I never really noticed before in the games. I just knew everyone had a Samurai Edge. I just never noticed that her emblem was different. Like, apparently everybody has a different emblem on their thing, and that's something I never noticed. I just always, in my head, it was just always the Samurai Edge. It was the gun itself. If it was full silver, that was Chris. If it was like the two-tone, I think that is Wesker. Barry's basically looks like the Mag. You know, his is still black, but it has like attachments. His looks huge because it's Barry, so he always has like giant, crazy guns. Rebecca has one, and she has like a green emblem because it fits her character. So everyone like has color emblems and stuff. Never even noticed that like playing the games. I just knew like the gun color was specific to each person. So I was like, I want Jill's, and this is the closest I can get for now because I'm not paying. I think it was like $500 for the official Jill Valentine version, the Tokyo Maru thing. That's the one that's always been sold out. So these you can actually find. It's only like $120. I paid a bit more than that because I didn't realize that. I thought I was getting something special, so I ended up getting it off of eBay. I only ended up spending like $140 on it, so it was still only like $20 extra. But I could have saved that $20 had I known that. Because like I said, all the time that I'd been doing my research, even when I was specifically looking up this, all the videos were super old until I randomly looked and I happened to find a video that was only like 2 weeks old. And I was like, well, hold on a second. And then because of that, that's what made me look, and I found it on the site. And I was like, I could have saved like $20, but I was fine. I ended up getting it from someone who specifically is a huge Resident Evil fan as well. So I was like, you know what? Because he's a giant fan, I'm cool with it. And he was great as far as a seller because we were going through classic issues with Ye Olde Virus. So there was like insane delays and there was like no updates. Like he messaged me because I was kind of just like, it's like the records, it'll get here when it gets here. And he actually messaged me like, hey, there's been no updates for days and stuff like that. And I was like, oh. And so I responded to him like, you know, I've had items do this before. That's probably it. I was like, I'm not going to cancel it because I really want the item. And I was like, you know, I'll probably just wait a little bit longer. But he like filed a case and everything. And then they officially updated like, hey, we looked into it and everything. So I was like, you know, that's cool. And I was like, the fact that he was a giant fan, I was like, you know what? I'm okay spending the extra $20. Someone who, you know, who's a giant fan. It's that weird thing where it's like, you know, I could have got it cheaper. That's on me, not doing the extra bit of research, even though the research I did do constantly showed only old videos, which is hilarious that all that stuff, all those YouTube videos I was looking up, trying to find everything, I couldn't find anything. Like, all the videos I found were super old, and there were different versions, too. It was this version, and then the official Jill Valentine one that's, like I said, like $500, and I would love to have it, but it's literally just this gun, except it has a blue emblem, and it has the Kendo custom thing, so I was like, it's not really worth the 500 unless I was like insanely rich. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that because, you know, I can get this. And then I found a site where a guy actually sells a custom emblem, so I can just get this replaced and make it Jill's anyway. But I might just leave it. I do need to put like some rust linoleum on this because that's one of the things that I've heard is that it fades out really fast. Although mine is mostly gonna be oh, maybe it's kind of fading already, or maybe that's just the angle of it. No, I think it's kind of fading already. The raccoon part doesn't appear to be as reflective. So maybe it is already happening. Okay. Well, that's fine. Because I probably am going to end up getting that emblem thing if I don't end up putting the rust linoleum stuff or whatever it was. I can't think of it right now. But that's probably what I'll end up doing anyway. Because my dad actually has some. So I love this gun. I do wish I got it for just the 120. But like I said, it's the one time I didn't do enough research. But even though I did a bunch of research, it still failed me because, like I said, all the videos I found were super old. So really funny, really weird how that ended up playing out. But I was fine with it. Everything works. And, you know, nothing was like it was still like a brand new thing. It was just like an extra $20. So that was really it. But that was the thing that I was like, losing my mind about, because I was like, I finally have a freaking replica, and I'm so happy that I have it. It's super cool. I will never really shoot the thing because I have no interest in actually utilizing it as, you know, a BB gun. It's literally just like I have a cool Stars replica gun, and that's it. Like I have no intention of ever actually using it. Maybe if I do a video, if I do like, you know, a Resident Evil fan video or something, I'll probably use it, and then I can just put the gas in it because it has actual gas blowback. Like, you know, with this, there's no gas in it, so the chamber doesn't move, so it just clicks. But if you put gas in it, it'll, you know, it'll blow back and everything. It'll boom, 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 as it, you know, as guns do. So that was the thing that I was super excited for, because I was like, I've wanted one for years. I've known it was a thing for a super long time. Didn't realize, like I said, I could just go to that website and it was super easy. I didn't have to like do crazy research and go on eBay to do it. It's just on the website, so I highly recommend it if you're looking for one. It's like $120. I don't think they were even doing shipping or anything. I think it was free shipping. It was $120 flat. So highly recommend it if you are a big fan of Resident Evil. So I wanted to do that. That was like the big thing that I wanted to wait for. That's why I didn't want to do it while I was tired, because I knew I wanted to be excited. I wanted to have my music set up, whatever music might be playing. And that was pretty much it. And I'm glad I waited too, because then I got to talk about Alan Wake as well. So that's pretty awesome. We will see what else comes in. Oh, actually, something else did come in. It's time. My spare battery. I mentioned I bought the battery. The GoPro battery came in, so that was cool. Actually, that came in. That was my pseudo wake up call. I was technically up earlier, and I slept a decent amount too. I was sweating. I hate that. I honestly, I gotta figure something out with this bedroom, because I would go to sleep. You know, it's colder at night, of course. I wake up, and I was literally sweating. I was like, holy crap! Like I could feel like a bead of sweat like go down my neck, and I was like, I need to get up, and like I had to like wipe my face off because I was sweating. So I hate it. Like the temperature back here sucks. It's cold. It's cold enough at night, and then I wake up and it's super warm. And it's not like the heat's blaring or anything. It comes on every once in a while, as it normally does, because that's what heat is for. But I can't turn it all the way off because it is cold here. You know, especially it's probably because of my window, so I need to like seal it to like keep heat in, because it totally screws me over. Like at night, it's cold enough, and it's actually fine. Like it's just cold enough. Covers are good. I wake up, and it's only been a day because it's a particularly warm day. Apparently it's nice. That's what my mom told me. I haven't nature. So I haven't gone outside, but it was definitely warm when I woke up. I was sweating, so I was like, okay, something's got to be fixed. I definitely heard that skip. I hear it again. I'm here skipping. I don't like that. It's like the only one that's really been skipping. It's like constantly skipping too. Okay. Well, that's pretty much it for Wednesday. I just wanted to do that, show off Alan Wake, because that came in. The battery came in early. This came in second, so the battery came in from GoPro, so from someone, I guess. I don't know, GoPro has their own shipping, but I guess it was USPS. So, or no, it was UPS, I would assume, for the GoPro thing, and then Alan Wake came in with the regular mail, and that shocked me, because I was like, oh, okay, you know, I got my battery and stuff, and then I got another knock on the door, and I was like, what the heck is that? So, that shocked me, and I'm happy, because got my little Alan Wake thing. I'm going to do a little bit of photography with that, because they're doing like a little thing for the 10th anniversary. It's like, you know, if you share your memories of Alan Wake on one of the Discord servers and stuff like that, 10 people are going to win these like big mag flashlights that just say Alan Wake on them. So I thought that was cool, and I was like, I might as well just give it a shot, because I love the game. So fortunately, my little disc plate that has the forest, it fits perfectly for this game. I wish it was bigger. I wish it was so much bigger now, because it won't be able to like cover everything, because it's you know, it's that medium size. So sadly, I can't have like everything just in the center of it, and it's like all this dark forest behind it. But I'll figure something out. I'm gonna use my light box and have like a jet black background, so it's not like the wall or anything. So I'm looking forward to doing that, because I don't really do my pictures very often, so I'm kind of excited to figure out how to make it look really cool. So that's pretty much the only plan for today, is to take a picture of that. I do plan on doing my video later today, my gaming videos, I mean. So we'll see how that works out, but I don't know. I might do, I don't know. It's 5 something now, I believe. Yeah, so it's, okay, 4:47. That's good. So I'll probably do the picture first, and then probably do the picture first and then get high after that, and, you know, make more videos. So that'll probably be the plan, unless I decide not to do the videos today and I just edit, and then tomorrow just try to shoot through as many videos as I can, since I really want to make sure I truly utilize, to the best of my ability, this PlayStation Plus. Even though it's a full year, I'm that weird person that's like, I'm that person where it's like, I basically feel like I need to play every single day. Because I'm like, I pay for the whole year. Like, I can't, if I'm just sitting, it's the one thing where I'm like, aside from insurance, because I hate insurance, it's the same as insurance. It's like, I feel like I need to utilize it. Sadly, with insurance, you basically have to be injured in order to utilize it. So that I'm not really in a rush to do. But gaming-wise, I can just, start up a match online. So maybe that'll be my thing. I'll do like a match a day just to be like, okay. And, that'll totally work. One match, and then I'll be like, I can turn this off. That totally works. So we'll see what happens. But either way, I know for sure I'm going to take the pictures. Who knows if I'm going to film or not. But that's the tentative plan for the rest of the day. And I will let you guys know tomorrow. Hey, everybody. It is Thursday night. Very late. It's like 11:55. As you can hear, most likely, the fan of the computer is on right now. That's because I'm currently rendering. I didn't want to go in the room again and have just blank background. And also, that's been like the story of the day. I decided to edit. I was thinking like, am I going to film today and stuff? And I was like, no, I've got like my, every other day thing. If I edit and upload today, that was the plan at least. And I gave Resolve a chance. I went through and I actually edited the whole video on that thing. So we'll see what happens right now. But the first time I went through, it would not finish because the last episode of the Deadly Tower Monsters that I recorded, like, screwed up. Like, I had a whole moment, which is actually in the video if you guys want to check it out. And I screwed up. Like, I was leaning over to check my camera. And so my trays are just like the ones you just stick the top board onto the little pegs, and that's really it. So putting any pressure on it, it'll just flip automatically, and that's exactly what happened. So it flipped, and I knocked everything down. Like, everything like fell over and stuff. And unfortunately, I didn't realize that caused the capture card to mess up. So the last like 10 minutes of the video, all distorted. Like, you can hear it, like there's audio and video, but it's real messed up. So it's like you can't hear any of the people actually talk. You can hear like the music a little bit, and you hear some random noises here and there. All the footage like is like that weird blending where it'll still be like one clip, and then it's like slightly moving, and then it kind of fades into something else. It's that sort of stuff. So it's real messed up. So I went through and I was like, okay, and this is one long video. Like, I mentioned before, I waited forever to let the video actually download. So it did all of that. So it's still one long video. It's not like it's the good part and then the messed up part came out as something else. Like, it's still just one whole video. So I went through, I edited it, did everything. I threw in like a part. I had like Snorlax in my hand and everything. I was like, okay, this is what happened. Screwed up. If you decide to watch the next 10 minutes, it's going to look like crap. But I left it in anyway because I just thought it was funny. And I was like, I'll just leave it in just as a weird thing to leave in. So I did all that. And then it's rendering. And it's like, it'll be like an hour and a half. And I was like, okay, cool. Exercise. I showered. I was going to eat. I was going to like actually cook and stuff. And then I didn't end up doing that, mostly because when I got out of the shower, because I timed it this way, I got out and it was finished. And so I was like, cool. And then I'll set it to upload and I can do all that. And then I found out that the render stopped while I was in the shower, because apparently the second part of the video that's real crazy, even though it's technically still within that long file, it just wouldn't render it. Like, it was like, it freaked out. Like, the thing just couldn't handle it for some reason. And it was just like, and it just gave up. And so then it just cut the whole video. And fortunately, well, it doesn't matter now because I replaced it anyway. But if it does it again, at the very least, it'll go up to the point where I like tripped and knocked everything over. And then I can just like go from there. But when I did it through Power Director, like, I took the whole video and I was like, okay, I took just the gaming, like not myself. I didn't like re-edit and all that. I just took the gaming video and I just cut it. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to cut everything that's good. I'll just cut all that off. And I will take the end portion, because I didn't edit anything out of the end. I just let the 10 minutes go because I was like, it's a messed up 10 minutes. There's no point in trying to make it look good. There's nothing here. Like, it looks like crap. It's just a weird quirk thing to just put it in there. So I was like, cool, I'll just cut it. I did that. No problem. Like, it rendered it no problem whatsoever. So I was like, okay. I made it a separate file. It's not like the original file. It's gone through Power Director, came out fine. And then I put it into Resolve and I replaced, I guess, the original video with that portion. So I will see if it makes a difference that it's already been rendered by another program into something else, or if for whatever reason Resolve can't just render exactly what's in the file. I mean, I know it's messed up, so that's obviously why it happened. But I thought that was really weird because I was like, okay, if Power Director can't do it, then I just have to scrap it. Like, I'll just make like I'll just make a new ending and be like, hey, after I tripped, I like broke the whole video and nothing works. And that just would have been my ending. But Power Director did it. And so I was like, okay, let's see what Resolve does. So I still don't know the results of part 2. So of course I'll be talking about that tomorrow or possibly, yeah, later because it's officially midnight now. But that was my experience for the day. Sat around, did this and that. And then I was like, I'm going to edit. And then I was disappointed because I was like, okay, even if I finished it and everything was fine, it still would have been like a fairly late upload. It would have been like 8 o'clock. And I was like, okay, I'll still do it just to have it out specifically, every other day or, make an attempt to get back to that. And my plan was to start filming tomorrow. And actually, I was thinking I would even film tonight because I was like, okay, if that uploads, at the very least, I can do a Let's Discuss video because I haven't done any of those in a while. And I was like, I can do like two or three of those tonight and I don't have to set anything up. I can just turn everything off. Just sit right here. Excuse me, sorry, I keep coughing. And just sit right here and just talk about something. I wanted to talk about Alan Wake because recently was the 10th anniversary. And today, well, technically yesterday now, was actually the 40th anniversary for Empire Strikes Back. I thought it had already happened, but apparently it was actually yesterday. I wanted to also make a post about that, but I didn't end up doing it on Instagram. I might do it later and just like, throw the little jersey on and stuff like that. I probably won't though. I'd really be like, whatever. I might actually do a Let's Discuss video and just talk about Star Wars. So that kind of threw my plans off because I was like, of course, with the the thing going, I can't really do the videos in here because it'll just be loud. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just wait and see what happens. I really hope it works this time. Like, it's actually really close to the end. It just stopped. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna deal with it after. I know what to do. Apparently I need to go back to Power Director. So I don't understand. I don't know. I just don't know why I can't. It just says the current clip could not be processed. It's just the fact that it's real wonky. I still don't understand how that impacts the actual editing software because I would think if it's in the file, whatever happens, you're just, boom, you're just compressing it into something else. Like, that's kind of the point. It's not like you're actually changing anything. That's the editing part. The rendering part is literally just, it's like making a sandwich. Like, you have to put the peanut butter and jelly on. That's the editing. When you put the sandwich together, that's the simple part. It's just, it's done. Here you go. Like, you already did the actual work part. You're just putting it into another thing. It's like cutting off the edges of the sandwiches is the rendering part. Like, if it needs to be like that final touch where you put it all together, that's it. Or cutting the sandwich in half if that's what you like. Or triangles if you prefer. So I don't know. Man, I think I might end up buying Power Director later. That might be the process because I still don't know what the deal is, why it's always effing freezing on me, but I do know I'm like 2 programs or, 2 versions behind. So that could help. And that's the main thing I mentioned weeks ago. That's the main thing I'm worried about. Like, will that make a difference? Because the program is actually phenomenal. Like, Power Director is a great program. It's just the slowdown issues. That's literally the only thing. Like, it syncs audio better. Well, especially now because I've been using it for years. I know it way, way better. Like, the one thing that I hate learning is a new audio program because I'm like, okay, well, I can do this. Control T is how to, how you cut in Power Director, and then you go to something else, and it's not the same thing. Even if it's all on PC, it's not just, Control T, boom, you got it. It's like you have to, relearn so much stuff. So that really blows. So that is fantastic. It's midnight, so after this, I'm actually just gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna brush my teeth, drink some water first. Drink some water, floss, brush my teeth, and then I'm going to sleep because it's midnight now. And that was like my main thing to be like, I don't know when I'm really going to sleep. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to put this in the Power Director because the thing that I mentioned that I technically replaced it anyway, when it gets to the part that's like really crazy, it still cuts off. Like, everything that's good is the full video. Like, it will cut that off and it's like, here you go. Here's like the whole thing. So technically all I have to do for Power Director is put the finished portion in, and then I still have to, which I don't understand this part either. For some reason, and I guess I'll see if it does it this time too, but for some reason, the part that I inserted into the video didn't make it, and I thought that was really weird. Like, it's just me kind of just talking like this, and I was actually even in this place, which is why I'm still doing it here, because I just left the camera right here. So I don't understand what the deal with that was. Like, it was just a video by itself, and I was like, okay, well, let me cut this and push that down and kind of insert like, hey, this is what happened if you want to keep watching. So I still have that video on my computer, so I'll just have to put that into Power Director after everything that did render, I guess, and then I'll still have to do like my little edit, and throw on my music and stuff. So it's super weird. I don't understand how that's a thing where Power Director is good enough to do it, but another program isn't. So that's really odd to me. I don't know how that really works, but for whatever reason, it didn't. And even now, even though it went through a different program, it still didn't do it. So it just is what it is at this point, I guess. I don't know. That's crazy. So that's been today. I edit, and then it failed, and then I thought I had a solution, and I was giving it a chance. I was really trying because it was a little bit easier to do it that way versus going through Power Director and then redoing it, because technically all I had to do was just render it, which only took like a couple minutes through Power Director once I cut that sliver off. Just render the last little bit and then just throw it into, Resolve and just be like, all right, well, delete the part that couldn't make it and then just put that right back in there. Like, I didn't have to actually do any more editing, and now I have to do even more editing. So that's really annoying, but that's pretty much been the day. This was the mask I was talking about. We are in Detroit. So that's pretty much it. It's a normal mask. Nothing crazy about it. The one thing about it, maybe just because my head is huge, not that I would do this, but if I'm like that, it just goes right up and it pokes me in the face, like hits my eyelashes and like knocks them into my eye. So that's really it. That's like the main thing. It'll just, gotta do that and be careful. Although people will walk around like this anyway, like, yeah, that's totally how that works. Just nose exposed, because that's totally how that works. But yeah, that's the mask I mentioned before. And then that's pretty much been the day. I edit. I didn't really do much before that. Like, I pretty much just sat around for a bit. I watched one episode of Archer on Hulu. I don't know if I even finished it because I was actually going back to the edit thing, but the most recent season where they're in space. And I was like, oh yeah, because I was trying to figure out, like, what do I want to watch initially when I was rendering it. I was like, I'll watch a little bit of something and then I'll hop in the shower and it'll be done, like, by the time I finish drying off and everything. That was my initial plan. Like, I'll watch a little bit, shower, do this, and then as it renders and uploads, then that was my plan for, like, I'll cook a bit. And then I got annoyed and I was like, well, I can't do the full-on fish cooking and stuff like that. And I didn't even want to heat up like my little frozen dinner until as always with everything that pushes, gets pushed back, it's always because of editing. So I always want to do that first because it takes so long. And that felt good too. I was like, I felt like I was really getting something done. I was using the new program. I was giving it a shot. I was even learning how to do it accurately. And I was real happy. I was like, okay, when I have my little moments, I can actually go to Resolve and it'll be good. And then this happens. And it's still fine. It can still, when I do other videos, I'll just, if it screws up, I just know what'll need to be done, I guess is the best way to really put it. So we shall see what happens. I'm sure it'll be fine because, like I said, I cut the piece off anyway for Power Director. So all I have to do is take what has rendered and then add the pieces back in. But it's just annoying. It's just like, man, that really sucks. And then that's going to be tomorrow because I'm not going to do it tonight. But that will also be another hour and a half, of rendering. So I've wasted like 3 hours, I guess, of rendering. Or I guess technically close to 3 hours. I guess it's more appropriately, it's been like 2 and some change because it didn't actually render the last little chunk. So that really blows. That's pretty much all I did today was that. And I watched a bunch of videos of people flipping out, public videos. I did a lot of that yesterday, watching people get mad about the mask stuff. I've just been watching a bunch of, Corona things and just like people flipping out and all this other stuff. And then I just ended up on like random TikTok things, just people freaking out in public in general. And then like people cheating on people and people posting on TikTok. And I was like, why am I on there? It's just, it's basically just like reality TV type stuff. Like, man, you just see people get mad and it's entertainment. But that's pretty much it. So that's super annoying. But yeah, that sucks. That is a crappy ending because I thought I solved it, especially after wasting, more appropriately, like an hour of rendering. But yeah, that's interesting. I should have just went through Power Director the second time because I think it's still technically faster. Like if I knew that was going to happen, of course, just render it in Resolve and then just cut out that last chunk and then just wait for it. And then it would still be like 2 hours. But I guess that still would have balanced out to where I'm at now. And then I still have to wait until tomorrow to actually finish that. So that'll be how I start the day. I'm going to have to start off with editing. So that sucks, but that's where we are going into what is currently now Friday. So I will see you guys later. And yeah, it'll definitely be after I do that. And who knows, maybe I'll get some stuff in. Everything, of course, eBay-wise is just like, it's somewhere. Like stuff is close, but everything still has that weird in transit or like this random thing like left Detroit. So I'm still, some stuff like departed the Detroit warehouse That was probably like 4 days ago. And I'm just like, okay, let's see what happens. So maybe we'll get something either tomorrow or Saturday. I feel like at least one thing should be getting delivered by the end of this vlog. So something should get here either today or Saturday for sure. That's probably wrong, because who the F knows. But that's just my guess based on where everything is. But also, you know, the first records I think took like 3 weeks or something insane like that. So I don't know. Unless people put the claim in like the one dude did for the gun, it probably just gets lost. So, you know, I might have to do that. But at the same time, I'm just kind of like, it'll get here when it gets here. Like, that's pretty much how I am at this point. I'm like, no real need to rush it. It just kind of happens. And then poof, it's in the vlog. And that's just how it is. So something good might happen tomorrow. At the very least, I know for a fact I will edit that video. I know I will record some more. I don't know if I'm going to end up actually doing my gaming videos tomorrow, or if I'm going to do the Let's Discuss, because I really want to do that, mostly because I want to talk about Alan Wake so bad, because I'm officially, I can, you know, do a video now that my collector's edition came in. So that might be what I end up doing, because I was really thinking about it. I'm glad I didn't take an edible when I got, you know, before I got in the shower, because I was like, oh, I should take an edible in the shower. That way it'll kind of kick in just as I'm about to start filming and stuff. And I guess technically, if that did happen, I would have just ended up filming like, F it, I'll just edit tomorrow, and just, that's probably what would have happened. But I'm glad I didn't do that, because I still would have been annoyed that it happened and everything didn't go the way I wanted it to. So I would rather just save it for, like, yeah, everything's just fine. You know, it's much better to be high and everything just worked already, versus like, I'm annoyed and I'm high and it, you know, kills your buzz a little. So that's the plan for tomorrow. Maybe something will come in. Of course, if it does, I will let you guys know. And, yeah, I guess that's really it. Welcome to Friday night. The weekend is almost here, everybody. It is actually very close, because once again, I am filming at like 11:50 at night. It's like 11:53 or something like that. I think it's 11:57. I wasn't sure. I was like, I'll probably give myself some extra time. But no, it is 11:57. The computer is on as usual, so that's fine. I was like, you know what? I'm still staying up a little late, trying to, you know, still attempting on the schedule thing. But still up a bit late today. Like, most of today was basically spent on YouTube. I did finish editing the video. I went through, I did what I needed to do, got, you know, my little bit from Resolve, put that into Power Director, finished all that up. So I posted that and everything's fine there. So then I was like, okay, I'm just kind of on YouTube. I was pretty much on YouTube all day. I ended up going, much like yesterday when I was in the rabbit hole of public freakouts and things like that, I ended up watching, I've been pretty much watching like a YouTube channel. I was about to say series, but it's the actual channel name is a Magnaset Press, I believe. And so what he does is called First Amendment audits, and it's basically like going to public locations like what am I trying to think? Like the post office. That's what it is. I could not freaking think of the name of that. The post office, public libraries, public buildings, things like that. Because legally speaking, you are allowed to film in those places because they are considered public places. Even if people don't want you to, that's more feelings than like, you know, like he says a bunch, like, you know, it's like how you feel isn't really overpowering the Constitution. You constantly called on them all the freaking time because people freak out and stuff like that. So been going on a series of videos like that, and it's like, it's interesting how much people do really freak out when it comes to camera stuff. And people are like, you know, people of course never know rules about anything. Let's be honest, like it not just camera stuff. That's probably the most common thing, because whenever you have a camera, everyone's looking, you know, at the camera. And it's funny, the example he gives a lot is like, you know, back in the day, people used to like jump in front of cameras like, hey mom, that used to be the thing, because not everyone had a camera. So now it's gone from like this cool novelty thing to instant suspicion. Like it's always, you know, if you're somewhere, you know, because of course he's going into like random public locations and stuff. And it's really funny because it's like, you know, like you understand why people are suspicious about it. And technically he's just letting people know like, you know, yeah, I understand you're uncomfortable, but technically speaking, legally speaking, constitutionally speaking, that's too bad. You know, like that's pretty much all there is to it. Like there's one, and it's actually the home video. I highly recommend checking this one out. I think it was the one that I actually first saw, and it's him going to this post office, and they flipped out on him. It was insane, and I was like, holy crap! Like the dude was just like they just flipped on him. The dude was like, you know, you can't film in here. And, you know, people always say dumb stuff. He always puts it on repeat, which I always find funny. But when people say stupid stuff, they double it up, like a double take. And it's just like people will say stuff like, I don't care about the rules, or just stuff in that realm. And it's always entertaining to watch that. So I just like watching those types of videos, like people going through. And it's not just entertainment. It is information like that. Although it's totally entertaining. That's why I watched a bunch of them. It does help because you never know when you'll find yourself in a very random situation, especially with me, doing the filming thing. I've actually come across that one time when I was in Detroit. My friends and I, and nothing happened because it literally, they were way too late anyway. We literally filmed like our whole shot. But we were filming in Detroit, in downtown. We have what's known as a people mover. And so we were filming there, and it's curious. I have to look this up now because it's in my head. But we were filming there, and so like we were filming somebody, getting off the people mover. That was like the shot we were going for. So we had done it, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. We had done our shot. Like we did the takes we needed to do to make sure we had. I think we only had one camera, so we probably had to do like 4 or 5 different takes to get make sure we had our angles. So we'd already done it, and we were literally finished, and we were about to leave, and like a woman came up and was like, "Hey, like we saw you guys filming stuff. We just wanted to let you know that you're not technically allowed to film here." And I was like, "Oh, okay, no problem." Like I said, we had finished up, so there was like it didn't suck for us. It wasn't like, "Oh crap, what are we gonna do now?" We had literally finished up. I think we were there for like 30 minutes or something. Like it was a super short shot, but it was funny. It was like, oh, thank goodness they came super late because it was already over. Like we finished, so we were happy about that. But it was one of those things where it was like, we're not allowed to film there, and we just said, okay, because that's the thing, and like you see it in the comments, and some people know stuff, some people don't. But a big thing when it comes to sayings as far as laws and rules and things like that is like, if you don't know your rights, you don't have any rights. Like that was a good comment that I read, and I was like, that's interesting because that's what happens. Like you see all these videos of illegal search and seizure and things like that, and people. There's another channel. I actually should represent those. I shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna put the name here so you guys can see. I just don't want to edit. I'm lazy. Audit the Auditor. Thank goodness. Audit the Audit. It's either Audit the Auditor or Audit the Audit. It's one of those two. So you can look it up. You'll definitely find it with one of those two names. And even if both of those are wrong, you'll find it because audit is definitely the first word. Audit the, and then it's either audit or auditor. And they basically go through, big cases and things that have been recorded, and it'll kind of grade people based on what they did, both the person that was targeted as well as the police. And it'll be like, cops kind of the normal situation, the stuff that always goes viral, like people flipping out because it's like, I'm a cop, so I have to know more than you, because that is really how it goes a lot of the time, like in a ton of videos. Like, and of course, people being normal people, sometimes you'll know some stuff, you might not know 100% of everything. So you'll question something, and then someone will flip out because it's like, oh, you questioned me. And then people have, pathetic ego and stuff comes into it versus just doing your job. And people will be like, they'll skip over questions, or they'll act like because in some of the videos, like the audit one, as well as the Magnaset, I hope that I'm pronouncing that right, press videos, same thing. Cops will just say stuff, and it's like they don't care, or they'll get an attitude because you're challenging them factually. And it's just that sort of thing. Like, it's really kind of pathetic to just see people where they just get mad about stuff. And it's like, I flat out said it does, like, people enforce more feelings than they do actual laws. Like, that's the thing that you see a lot. And of course, things can happen. Of course, sometimes you might think you know something and you don't. And that's totally possible. And you're just trying to get information. And sometimes it's too late, depending on who the cop is. Because I watched a video like that where the guy was literally asking the questions because he was trying to understand, like, hey, is this a thing? Do I legally have to do this? Which, unfortunately, if you ask the cop, they'll always, typically they'll say yes. So, it was a video where a guy was just asking, like, do I have to do this? And they mentioned, you mentioned the the person who was doing the videos on YouTube brought up the report where they said, like, oh, he constantly denied them access to do this or do that. And it was like, if you watch the video, though, which, of course, the guy was filming to make sure he didn't get screwed over, he asked like one question. He said no like one time, and then he was trying to get information, and the dude was already pissed and was just like skipping over his question. Like, he's literally asking, like, do I legally have to do that? Are you forcing me to do that? Are you asking me to do that? Like, where's the balance here? What's the line for what does and does not legally need to happen based on what you're telling me? So it's just really interesting going through those videos. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm on a very interesting video with the Magnaset Press where they were at a Colorado protest, and I'm like, I can't wait to watch it. That's the main thing. I was like, I should go to sleep, exercise, shower. Maybe I'll just exercise. I'll exercise while I watch these videos because I'm already up late. It's already probably, I'm sure I've talked more than 3 minutes. Yeah, it's 12:04. So I'll probably exercise as I watch more videos, but it's just entertaining. And you do, like I said, you do genuinely learn some interesting stuff because it's like, okay, I didn't know these specific laws and things like that. I knew the thing mostly because doing video, and it's just stuff you find out at random anyway, but you are legally allowed. If it's a public space, like, people can't say, you're not allowed to film here. Like, I've known that for a super long time. Like, technically speaking, if you're on the sidewalk and someone's blinds are open, you can legally do that. There have been multiple cases where that's been brought up. I've known that for a little while. So Some stuff I knew, and other things get added. Like, you don't technically have to give your information. I think, don't quote me on this. Watch the actual videos, because even though I watched a couple, that's like the one thing that I've forgotten. Like, legally, cops have to tell you their name if they're coming to you in an official capacity. They have to tell you like their name if you ask. And you don't have to give your information until it gets to the point of like, and once again, not a lawyer, usual disclaimer stuff, not a lawyer, not really that smart in general, but just throwing things out there that I believe I know. Watch the videos, of course, but you don't have to actually give your information until you are specifically being detained. And one thing that I know for sure is that someone can't say, well, I'm holding you for this, or they can't say I'm detaining you. You cannot, like, a cop can't legally just say I'm detaining you, period. Like, they have to have something. They have to like know, if they know for sure, then obviously, but they have to at least have like probable cause. And that's one of the things that's really hard to know, because it goes from, just the cop saying that they have probable cause to the actual laws, where it's like, even this specific thing, like, sure, as a person, it might be like, oh, that's a little suspicious, but legally speaking, it doesn't matter. Like, like, courts will say like, well, that doesn't really do anything to give you probable cause to think that anything is really happening. Or, there's a million things where people will say specific stuff or say vague things, like the video I was watching where a cop was like, this person has a blunt object, instead of being like, it was the dude, you've probably seen the video if you happen to look these videos up, but I'd seen the video a while ago, and it was the dude who was picking up trash outside of his apartment. And it's like, the cop, like, basically, even after everything was all said and done, where it's like 2 people from the apartment came out, because like 8 cops ended up showing up and stuff, and it was like, he kept telling dude, like, sit down and we'll talk about it. It's like, there's literally like the sole reason he was there was to say like, do you actually live here? And he found out, and then he was still trying to be like, hey, what's happening? There's that P again. And it's like, everything that he wanted to find out was officially done. So that's kind of where I've been, just watching videos, learning about random things, just seeing how people play things out and how that works and how angry cops get and stuff like that. Because a ton of people get mad when they just assume they know stuff. Because you can't just tell someone, I don't want to be filmed. That literally means nothing. Like, it doesn't mean anything. The only people that are legally protected under that are children. And I don't know if that even applies to like kind of the YouTube aspect of things. People could probably come after you for that, but I don't know, like, that I would have to look into. But I know for sure, like, children can't, like, if you do, like news people, if they do that where they actually show random faces, you'll notice kids are automatically blurred out. Like, adults, it's like, okay, you typically have to assume that sort of thing, like if they're over 18 or whatever. But typically, people are automatically in it because it's just like, it's public. So it's like, you don't have that real expectation of privacy. If there's a camera and you walk in front of it, you're not going to miss a camera. It's that sort of, not if it's like the news. You're going to see that truck. You're going to know where that camera is. You're not going to miss it. But you will see, typically at least, I don't really watch the news, but typically you'll probably end up noticing like any really young kids automatically blurred out, that sort of thing. It's just like when they don't put their name in like the news reports where it's like, oh, someone was injured or someone was in this case, it'll just be like an unknown minor. Like, it's that exact same thing. So it's, whether it's text or it's actual video, that's kind of like the automatic rule across the board. And like I said, that's for like actual businesses. So I have no idea how that really works. Once again, you kind of have to look into that stuff. But I don't know how that really plays out as far as, like if I was doing YouTube and I filmed like a random kid, I would ask if for whatever reason I was filming kids anyway. But, it's just that sort of thing where it's just like, I'm not 100% sure on that part, but I know business-wise, corporations and stuff, it is a little bit different. So it's really interesting. So we're going through that. I'm going to check out this crazy protest video where they instantaneously, like, it was really interesting watching it. Like, the video started and the dude was literally walking up with the camera. And people just were like the first dude that stopped him, he walked in front of him and was just like, we don't want any problems or want any issues. And I was like, interesting. Like, they're literally they're doing a protest in front of it. And I'm like, it's just a dude with a camera. What's going to happen? And like a bunch of people are like blocking him from filming and stuff like that. And it was really interesting. So I'm still at the beginning of that because I watched, I think it's his son's video, which is, oh crap. I can't think of the name. I think it's Night Watchman. I think that's what it is. So I saw his video first, so he showed up second. I was like, I gotta find like his dad's video. So I kind of watched through most of his, and then I was like, I switched to his dad's because he was there first. So I was like, I have to see exactly what was said, like exactly how it started, because I was really curious, like what could he have done? Because he, even in the video I saw, it was like, you guys kind of just surrounded me. So I was like, all right, well, if he's on the steps, is that where he started or what happened? And it was literally he walked up with the GoPro. It's not like he had a giant camera. It's not even like he had a mirrorless. I think his son, like night watchman, he has a mirrorless, and then his a Magnaset Press has just like the GoPro 7. So it was like, it's not like he had a giant camera. Not like anything was insane or anything like that. He literally, like in the video, mentioned from the beginning, like we were driving home, we saw a protest at the Capitol building, so we're like, it's kind of, amendment rights is kind of like the point of their channels. Let's stop and see what's up. And the dude just was like, we don't want any problem. Like, he just kind of blocked him. And then, like, a woman blocked him. And then, like, a bunch of people just started surrounding him. And it's like, that's weird. It was just weird. So, and I know that video gets crazier because I saw the snippets and I saw the thumbnail. So I'm kind of excited for this one. So I'm like, I can't wait to see how weird this one gets. But that was most of the day. The other thing is that an item came in. I got my STARS badge. This is really, yeah. There you go. STARS RPD badge. Raccoon City Police Department. So this is the thing that I ordered online. I have a little magnet here. This little thing, I have to be so careful. This thing is strong. It even says caution magnetic. This little thing is tough. So it goes underneath your shirt, which I'm probably not going to do this too much on this very specific shirt. That was bad. That was like all off to the side and everything. That was terrible. Boop. It's not too shabby. It's still a little crooked, but that's it. It's from Nerd Block, and this was the thing I saw online, and I was like, I want to pick that up for my new collection. So I got my badge and my hat and my gun. Every time I do that now, if I do it twice, all I think of is Maggie from The Sims. Like, if I do any noise, like, it just sounds, it's just like a more aggressive version of Maggie with her pacifier. So that's what I think of. Like, I did that before I walked in. I was like, that just makes me think of Maggie. Like, anything where it's just like two things and it's just, for some reason, I get like that sucking noise is like in that weird realm of sound to me. So that's what I thought. But I got this in. Still waiting for everything else. I don't remember what I did mention that I got and didn't mention that I got. So everything will just be a surprise. But this is the only thing that's coming on time, I'd say. So that's interesting. So we'll see what happens with everything else. It's all the same. I do have, or maybe I did mention, I don't know if I talked about it or not. Well, I'll wait and see, because obviously I forget, and I just want it to be like a random little surprise for, the vlog itself. Anyway, I doubt it'll be here tomorrow, but all the things that I got, I actually think I only have 2 other things coming, if I'm not mistaken. So the gun took a minute, but everything was fine. This actually totally came on time. Like, I checked it, it's been getting the updates and everything, and then I actually checked it and saw that it was out for delivery. It wasn't like the surprise or anything. Like, I checked it and it said, oh, it's out for delivery. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. And it's probably because it's so tiny. This tiny little thing compared to, I mean, the gun was totally packaged up. It wasn't like you don't have to say what's in it. You just, I mean, maybe you do if it's an airsoft. I wouldn't think you would, because it's still technically just an airsoft gun. It's not an actual firearm. So I don't know, the legalities of that, but I would assume not, because it's not a real firearm. So I wouldn't think you'd have to like declare it as a weapon or anything like that, and that would change it. All the records I've gotten, of course, is like the simplest, tiniest little thing. I mean, obviously not as small as this, but it's just a record. It's just, boom, it's just a box. It's a tiny box. People put them in, into the little, the record cases with Fragile on them. And it's like, I don't know how many records could possibly be getting sent out where it's like this crazy queue of records needing to be lined up and, sent out and stuff. So weird stuff like that. Like records take forever. This didn't take that long. This actually came in on the actual estimated date. I think the same with the Doctor Strange robe. It's like just weird how some things come in and other things don't. And I'm like, I don't know what changes the records. I don't know what changes the gun, stuff like that, because it's still just the same types. It's not the same type of item, but it's still just random items coming in the mail. So it's weird what ends up getting through and what ends up being slowed down. So it's super weird to me, because like the gun isn't super crazy, although that did come in before the item that I am waiting for the item I'm waiting for the most. So it's just weird. Like, I don't know what the criteria is for how things are or are not actually coming in. So it's odd. It's odd all around, but that was most of the day. Got this in, so that was super cool. I actually got up before the guy knocked on the door. It still scared the crap out of me, because I heard him knock through my headphones, and I was like, okay, I think my thing just came in, so it freaked me out still. But got this, been watching the videos, edited the video. Like I said, I'm going to actually exercise after I do this while I'm watching the videos and stuff like that. The other thing I did, because this won't be for who knows how long, how many months. Oh, actually, before I get to that, the big thing that happened, I feel like my light is fading out, which I don't think it should be. Let's see. Oh, I think this might be going soon. Oh yeah, this is definitely about to die. It's like when I hit the button to check the battery, it just flashes and none of the lights actually show up because it's normally 4. So super quick, we'll see. Yeah, I can actually see it on here. It's like the spotlight is like slowly creeping in. So I went on Sideshow Collectibles. Terrible idea. I actually pre-ordered 2 things. I pre-ordered a Starscream figure, which looks super cool. It's from PCS. You guys can check it out. I pre-ordered that. Of course, in payments. I didn't pay the whole thing in full. So I pre-ordered that because I was like, I love Soundwave. I think I said Starscream. Soundwave. Soundwave is my favorite Transformer across the board. It looks amazing. It looks like G1 Transformer, so it's like an animated figure. So I pre-ordered that, and I pre-ordered the new Captain Rex figure. I can see how much darker it's getting. Oh, this thing's about to go. Pre-ordered the Captain Rex figure. It's weird. It's like a video game where like you're just closing in. Pre-ordered the Captain Rex figure. That's not supposed to be out until next year. So I was like, okay, I don't have to do those payments for like a full year. So I just did like the deposit to officially have a pre-order. And I was like, I'll just save up for that for like, way down the line because it looks so good and it's the new version. And it's like, I was like, if I can get this and they do an Ahsoka thing for Clone Wars, those would be like my 2 figure collectibles because I don't do like 6 scale stuff. I do like my NECA figures and stuff, and those are typically way cheaper than Sideshow Collectibles. So I was like, I'll do those 2, and that'll probably be it. Like unless something really crazy happens. But I was like, that Rex one, after Clone Wars, I was just like, there it is. I'll be right back. Okay, now I see like how crazy it looks. Oh, anyway, so I pre-ordered those 2 collectibles. I keep wanting to say Starscream. I don't know why. Pre-ordered Soundwave, which, like I said, looks super cool. It's G1 animated, and then pre-ordered Captain Rex, the new version, because I think it's technically like the 3rd version that they've done, because they did the very first version like early Clone Wars, so his suit is like the clean version of his outfit, and then they did a Phase 2 version, which is closer to, I guess, what will now be the Phase 3 version. So his outfit is a little bit more tattered and stuff like that. And then the version I have, one big thing is that they're so far apart. The face looks amazing because I looked at the last one because I was like, well, let me see what, just to look at exactly what everything looks like and to be 100% sure I want to do this. Because I was like, as much as I love Star Wars, I have to be sure that this is something I want, same with the Soundwave figure. It's like, with the amount that I'd be choosing to pay, even if I'm doing it in payments, I have to be 100% sure I want this thing, especially for Soundwave, because with Captain Rex, it's still a posable figure. They're 1/6 scale figure, so they're probably like this size of Febreze right there. Maybe a little shorter. I don't know. I don't have one. Around that realm. So I was like, I have to be 100% sure because I can get a million just random posable figures, but do I want one that's basically a super high-end figure? And like I said, it would be the only one. It would be like this. And if they announce Ahsoka, that's probably going to be automatic. Like, I can't... I was like, with Clone Wars, and that's kind of what made me do it. And then also, when I finally decided, that's when I realized the payment said 2021. And I was like, oh, I'll definitely pre-order it because that's the simplest thing in the universe. If I noticed that the first time, I would have pre-ordered it like 2 days or yesterday or 2 days ago because I'd be like, oh, well, I'm not paying until next year. Let me just make sure I have an actual figure spot saved because it's like $25 to pre-order them. So I was like, I'll definitely, that's what I did actually. I didn't spend like anything extra. I was like, I'll just do the 25 and then I'll just wait till I'm forced to pay and I'll make sure I do it because I do want those 2 figures. So I got my Soundwave, got my Captain Rex. The thing I was talking about was the face sculpt though, because it's like the 5-year difference. Insane. Like, it just looks like crap when you go back, especially because it's 5 years. The technology has gotten so much better. And it's funny, like, that's something that's interesting that you don't think much about. Like, with games, you see it all the time. Unreal 5 is just like, holy crap, 8 trillion triangles and, all the stuff that they say, 15 teraflops for the, new Xbox. All the words and all that. But you see it. You see how things change. I mean, you can look at the first game on the PS3 to the last game on PS3. Like, you go from... Resistance 1 on PS3 looks like absolute garbage when you look at it now. Like, that looks like it's just a PS2. It looks like a really good PS3. In fact, I would say Resistance 1 on the PS3 probably doesn't look better than God of War 2. I think God of War 2 on PlayStation 2 looks better than Resistance, the first Resistance on PS3. I'd have to look at them side by side. Technically, yes, Resistance probably looks better. But just the way those games are made, like the way you have, it's just like, it's the same with like the RE remake on GameCube. It's like one of the best looking games ever made. Like, even now, that game looks insanely phenomenal. It doesn't look as good upgraded because just some of the stuff, like the background images are still technically the same. They could change the characters, but not so much the background and upscale them, stuff like that. It's just like if you look at the RE4 remaster, which I recently saw, I never actually watched a video on it, and I saw one on YouTube, and I was like, holy crap, that does look amazing. Like, my last image of RE4 is technically still like the Wii version. Like, that's the last time I played RE4 was like my cousin had it on the Wii, and I played his version. I was like, oh, the upgrade is different than the PS2 version. So my graphics are still back then. Like, I'd seen the trailers, but I never actually watched gameplay, and I saw like it had to have been like RE4 Ultimate Edition, I think is technically what it's called, which is hilarious. But I saw that and I was like, this game looks amazing. Like the characters, at least, like I was like, holy crap, they look phenomenal. The backgrounds, I was like, definitely upgraded, but still kind of muddy because they're still old, technically GameCube graphics and PS2 graphics. So I was like, oh, that's it's interesting. But the character models, crazy. So it's just some games just look better than other games. But you go from Resistance 3 to Last of Us, that sort of thing. That's all PS3, and you see that span of time. But getting into the figure realm of things, it's interesting to see that span as well of technology and capturing people's likenesses and things like that. It's really interesting just to see the advancement over time. And like you look at the face sculpt of I can't think of the actor's name, but the guy who played like Jango Fett and whose face they used for the clones. You see the sculpt of like the old Captain Rex figures versus the one that I pre-ordered, and it's like, holy crap, like 5 years makes a difference in just how they make a face look. Like it's crazy. Like it just looks so good. So I was like, man, it's really interesting. Like the things you don't think about until you get into it, and just the advancements. It's the same, with most things. Like I don't give a crap about cars. The only reason I know what's upgraded is because you see a bunch of commercials. Same thing with phones. I don't care. Like I keep my phones until they die, but every iPhone is like, we got like 3 cameras. We got 1,800 cameras. You can do this and you can do that. And it does look cool. I'll admit. That's like the only reason I kind of wish I had those phones, is just so I could take cool pictures. But that's literally, like, I care not for anything phone related, so I don't care about upgrades and all that stuff. But it's just funny, like, when you get into something new and it's like, you just see the old stuff because you're like, well, if I'm going to do this, let me at least look at the old versions just to have some idea or some concept and see what other people thought. And then you're just like, wow, technology's crazy. It's mostly in the face. Like the figure itself looks pretty much the same. Like the outfit looks good and everything. I could see some differences that I still like better with the new version. So I was, there's other stuff to be happy about, but that face, there's a heck of a difference there. But that's enough for now, because I know I've talked for about 30 minutes, so I'm definitely making up for missed time. And that's really it. So we're in the weekend now. Not really sure what's going to be happening. There's not too much to it. My mom's birthday is Sunday, because I believe, let's see, what's today's date? Yeah, okay. So tomorrow then, because it's past midnight now. So her birthday is tomorrow. So I may or may not end up seeing her for her birthday. We're kind of like supposed to go to my aunt's and like sit in the driveway, that sort of thing. So that's probably going to end up happening. But as far as tomorrow goes, not much. I think I'm going to film. I think I'm finally going to actually film in the middle of the day. I'm going to make sure, because once it got to like 5 or something and I was just like sitting around still like uploading the video and just stuck on YouTube basically because I was just in the zone. I was like, okay, I'm going to save my edible and I'm just going to wait until tomorrow, and I'm going to actually film what honestly is probably going to be like the last hour of the Deadly Tower of Monsters, because I know I'm at the end, so I either have 1 or 2 more episodes, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And I don't know why it's so hot in here specifically. I guess because I'm in enclosed bathroom space. But that's pretty much it for Friday, and obviously it's the very beginning of Saturday, so not much has happened yet. But I will see you guys later. Hey everybody, this is the end of the week. Actually, it is the beginning of the week because it's actually Sunday. So screwed up. Didn't film. I do believe I mentioned Friday that my mom's birthday was coming up. That was today. It was Sunday. So I'll just talk about what happened today in the next vlog, because that'll be a good start. But something did happen yesterday, and it was a part of why I didn't end up recording, because I was actually doing a gaming episode. I actually did a couple. Well, technically I did 2, but the second one I had to split up because like my camera kept overheating, which was really weird. I don't know why. Like I didn't even film as long as I normally do. For the first video, I didn't even do a full hour because I beat the game, which was, of course, the Deadly Tower of Monsters. It only took me I probably did all together like 40 or so minutes, but I actually beat the game. It was insane. It was such a confusing ending, especially while high. But the big story about that is I didn't record the gameplay. I have this, myself, my face, and I have the audio. I have no gameplay because I didn't press record before I started playing. I hope that was lint and not a bug, because I saw something and it looked like it flew on a curve, and I was like, unless that was caught on an airwave, which I don't think I'm moving that fast, but it was lint. It could have been. Hope it's not a bug in here. Another one. But yeah, I didn't record it. And because I was in crazy high panic mode, I freaked out and I screwed up. So this, I will say, this is in general, and I know this on a normal situation, but I freaked out so bad that I just screwed myself over. Instead of like thinking about it, I just hit a button and I totally killed everything. Like I actually could have had the footage, but instead of just being like, wait, I should look up and see what I can do, because I know that, because I use Elgato HD60, I think. Just the HD60. HD60, there's the HD60S, I just have the regular one. So they have the flashback recording thing, which I do have enabled. I do have that enabled. And unfortunately, I was an idiot, and I pressed record after I did all the footage. So what you can do, and of course I looked this up after because I was flipping out and I was like, I probably just screwed myself over by actually doing that, which I did. And of course I looked it up afterwards and it was too late, and I killed myself over like the whole hour or however long I did end up filming, because there was a lot of space in between where I was cutting and like, just doing random things. It screwed all that up. All the footage is gone. So I have to replay, and I'll have to check my audio to see exactly how long it is, so I know somewhat close to how much footage I actually need, because I really did the same thing twice. So technically I can kind of show the same footage twice, which almost fits because the game is so insane. Like it gets meta towards the end, and then the last 30 minutes of the game, it's worth putting out. Like it's genuinely like I have to put out my initial reaction, especially while being high, because it was so crazy. I was like, I have to put in the effort to just have fun. I mean, fortunately, it was the end of the game, which was mostly cutscene. So I was like, thank goodness, I'll know just based on what I'm talking about, like this is where I was at during this part, and then I can throw in random action and just fight the final boss and have the ending pieces, and then I could just throw that in there, no problem. So it's no big deal. So I'm very fortunate in that case because I didn't actually do that much, as far as like going forward to the next part of the game or anything like that. So that's good. I will have to double check just to make sure. Well, there's not much I can do because it's not the type of game where you can save at like different save points and all that stuff and go through it. It's literally like you go, once you get a checkpoint, that's it. Like you get the 3 save files, and it's like all it does is track your time. It's file 1, 2, and 3, and you just pick the file when you start the game, and then that's it. Like you continue the game going forward, and wherever you are, that's where you are. There is no backtracking. It's not like a bunch of save files. That's it. So it's one of those situations where like, even if, which I always screw that up anyway. That's why people, if you ever notice that in Let's Plays where they always save over and over again, it's in case something like that happens. You just have to play through it again and hope you can have the same, value of content in that, which I never do anyway. But most of the time I don't screw myself over. But even in this case, there's nothing I could have done anyway. But yeah, I screwed myself up. All I had to do was look it up first, and then I would have been like, oh, I can just drag the thing backwards and hit record, and I would have had my whole hour and a half, because I saw the timer going, and I just screwed up, and I just hit record, and it wipes out the shadow file, and I'm fairly certain you can't go backwards and find that anymore. It's just dead. So that really sucked, and I freaked out for sure. Like my heart was genuinely ready. I had an amazing time with that game, and then it ended on such a devastating. It was such a high note because it was so crazy of an ending, and then such devastation with me not hitting record, and then me screwing myself over when I literally could have just looked up the YouTube video first to figure out how the flashback recording works, and I just killed it all. So that really sucked, but I was like, you know what, I can do it, and I will do it. And then I was just like, screw it, it'll be what it is. It's gonna take me a minute to put out the finale now, because it's going to be a lot more editing compared to just, oh, I said this and did that. I have to go through and get the footage. I have to make sure I get enough footage for, how much I'm talking. I have to do the couple of random things that I know that I did. So it's going to be a minute before that happens. So fortunately, I do have some other stuff. I did end up playing Uncharted because, of course, and this really sucks because now it's like, I had to do it for like the last 30 minutes, but I did my PS Plus subscription again. Like I put the code in because I was like, well, I have to beat the freaking game. I started playing it. Let's do it. So it really sucks now because it was 30 minutes. If I just hadn't had my crazy sleep schedule and the stupid issues I've been dealing with, I would have been able to get it done. And I mean, even if I had this problem, it still would have been better than having to, kick up my PS Plus subscription, because I didn't want to do that. So I beat that. I started Not a Hero, which was the other game that I downloaded, and I was like, I was high, and there was a lot of reading in that, and I was like, I'm not entertained enough. I was like, I don't. It was cool. It's a fun game to play for sure. It's one, it's just a pick up and play type game, and it has great dialogue, and it's silly. But I was like, I'm not gonna sit through this. I was just like, it's not voice acted. It's just, you read the text and they have like the sound effects and stuff, and it seems like it's a great game. Like just playing it, I was like, I'll definitely play this sober, and I'll read through it. But like doing video wise, I'm like, I'm not gonna go through all that crap and have to like read every single thing and stuff like that. And I was like, it would just be more than I think would be worth it for especially starting out so new. No one's gonna want to go through that. I didn't even want to go through that, and I was high, and I was like, it's just too much reading, and I just like canceled that. I did like maybe 10 minutes, and I was like, screw this, and then I ended up playing Uncharted. So that'll be coming up, me playing Uncharted online, and then I will be jumping into the Uncharted collection. And I'm probably gonna end up doing. I need to do some more like smaller games so that I can like have complete games on there. So I'm still debating because I really still want to do Alan Wake. So I might end up picking that up before I do Uncharted. So I'm not 100% certain. Like we'll see what happens, but it's gonna be like one of those is gonna be like the long series game, and then the other one's gonna be, whatever other game I choose is gonna be like more of a short indie style game that's probably like maybe 5 hours max, stuff like that, instead of like, especially the Uncharted collection it's literally 3 full games, so that can go on forever. So I might do save Uncharted and do that later, and then I'll just throw out the online stuff because I was like, I want to utilize it. I'm not gonna end up playing Not a Hero for the channel, so I'll at the very least I'll go online every once in a while. I'll just throw up some random stuff for Uncharted, have like some funny moments or just some cool moments, stuff like that, just to have something cool and random on the channel. And that'll kind of be like the online component, and then we'll see what happens with Alan Wake. So for now, it's gonna be a minute because I think technically today I should have done it, because yesterday I recorded, so today I should have been editing, but due to issues and stupidity, I have to record another full hour, and then I have to figure out like how I'm gonna put all that together. So I know that's gonna take a super long time. I already know that just now. Like the one thing though, I can do it in Resolve because there's nothing for me to really edit. Like all the footage is just going to be like, the only thing I have to sync up is the video and the audio anyway. And all the other footage is going to be, random sporadic footage. So we'll see what happens. It does suck having to deal with Resolve because once again, Power Director is better overall, because this thing with Resolve is that if you like cut a clip and then you drag it to another section, you have to be very precise because it won't like snap. Even when I put the setting on, because you can put settings on to like snap things to certain locations, even when I put like the snapping thing on, sometimes it won't actually snap to the back, and I'll bring something new in, and instead of like snapping to the end of it like I want to, it'll go in and it'll like wipe over something, or I'll put something in, I'm like, there's literally nothing here, and somehow it like erases something else. I'm like, that literally makes no sense. Like I'm not even covering up anything new. I'm putting something in like at the very back, and then somehow it like pushes things in, and I'm like, this doesn't even make sense how that's even being impacted. So still kind of annoying. Like I'd still rather do Power Director, but I know for sure with me not just going in a straight line, I have to use Resolve because it won't freeze every freaking second, and I'm going to be doing a lot of cuts because I have to just throw in all this random footage however it may come out. So that'll be interesting. Super annoying. I hate that I did that. I hate that I freaked out so bad. But like my heart sank, and then I hit the button because my heart had sunk, and I was already freaking out, and I hit record, and I screwed myself over because I still could have saved it, and I didn't. So that was Saturday. Man, I am sweating like crazy. Holy crap, it's warm, and I've had the heat off for like a couple days because I've been waking up in the middle of the night sweating because the heat will turn on because it's like a little too cold, and then I'll wake up in the middle of the night like just sweating like holy crap. So it's just getting warmer and warmer. Eventually, I'm gonna have to turn the air on, and that'll be something because air's not free, heat is free. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. But yeah, that was Saturday. I know that was the ending to my week. It kind of sucked. It was like that just really sucked. I was like, it was the end. It's an amazing game. The Deadly Tower of Monsters. I highly recommend it. I think it's like $7 right now. I think I said that the other day, but I saw something. Or I looked at something. I don't know if I mentioned that or if I even saw that. I don't remember when I saw it because I was like, I'm not actually going to buy it because I just beat the game. But now that I have my PS Plus, I did mention in the video, I was like, I might just go through it again completely sober just because it was so freaking funny just to see other things, that I did end up missing. Or, maybe getting some of the other weapon upgrades because you don't get all of them unless you found like every single thing in the game. And I didn't do a ton of exploration like that, where I was like, oh, I have to go over here and get the gold cogs and stuff. I was like, I upgraded the weapons that I thought worked, and I would have liked to have upgraded some other ones because they had cool designs, but I was like, meh. So I might end up playing. I got a year at this point, so I might actually end up replaying it anyway and showing some other people. But yeah, that was the week. That was Saturday. That really sucked, but I am gonna figure something. It's the finale. Like, it's literally the finale. If I could have gone back, I would have done something. I would have just re-recorded it, and I would have I probably would have done half and half at least, because I think my initial reaction, considering how confused I was, no joke, I was so freaking confused. It's insane. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I did get to a specific checkpoint, and I'm pretty sure that was before the 30 minutes. So I might just have to be like, hey, I had to take these clips from somebody else. But this is what I was looking at, when I was doing it. So I might have to download some videos too, just so I can show people what I went through approximately, so they can at least see the game as it was meant to be played. So it really does suck. Like, it's just like the most random, sporadic. And it's funny, that's never happened. It's never been like, oh, I'm high, I forgot to do this, I forgot to do that. Typically, I'm still fine. Like, I go through and I still do my thing. And that was just the one time I did it. There was one other time where I almost started the whole recording and just forgot. And I was like, oh, crap, I didn't turn my thing on. And I just didn't notice, because I didn't have to look at the computer as much, because the main reason I would look at my screen is because of Audacity, to make sure, like, okay, I see WAV files moving. That means my recording is still going. That's all I ever did. I would just kind of look over, be like, all right, that's checked. And I just never thought, because I always hit record, it never occurred to me to be like, well, let me double, because you always see the footage moving. So whenever I would see the footage of the game moving, I'd be like, okay, it's totally fine, which technically it was. And like I said, I just screwed myself over. They're not going backwards. But I never think to look at the little thing to be like, is that glowing or is that just there? And that was just like, lessons learned. Life, it's weird. But that is the end of the vlog for this week. I don't know what's to come. We'll see what happens. I saw that some of the packages I got had some updates. Unfortunately, for me at least, package-wise, tomorrow is Memorial Day, so no packages will be delivered, but I think we should be getting, hopefully, both. I think I'm only waiting for like 2 things. Both of those things should come in next week, because they both say like, oh, they're in Detroit. Although one thing updated, and it said it was in like the Detroit regional facility, and then like today it updated that it was at the Detroit destination region facility. And I was like, that seems super weird. So there's like a big region facility, and then also a smaller but also regional facility still in Detroit. Like, Detroit's big, if it's everything, but Metro Detroit, I'm like, where are these things really at? Like, that just seemed weird. It seemed like a BS update almost, but I'm like, okay, it's wherever, but it did actually update, so I was happy about that. But it didn't get here today, sadly, so I was like, dang, it's definitely going to be Tuesday, I would hope, at the earliest, but for sure next week I should at least get one thing. Who the F knows, because things are crazy right now. My uncle said he sent me something weeks ago, and because I was like, oh, well, I haven't checked my mail, and he was like, no, I sent it like the day we talked. It was like when I shaved. He mentioned like trying beard oil and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And he's like, I'll send you some, and give him my address. I have to check to make sure I gave him the right address, but if I did, which I'm pretty sure I did, because it was I could have easily typed something wrong in, but pretty sure I did, so I'll double check with that. But if I did, it's still not here. And that was when that had to have been 3 weeks ago at this point when I shaved, because he saw that video when I put it out. So that was the week after, not even the full week after, because I only did it I think I did that on a Wednesday or Thursday. It was like later in the week when that happened. So it hadn't even been a full week since I shaved, and we talked about it. And it was just like, still not here. So I don't know if it's lost, or I just screwed up and I hit one wrong number, and I gave them the wrong info, which sucks, because all the freaking mail I get is for other people. Like, the people that used to live here, it's just everything I get is somebody else's name, and I'm just like, cool, this just takes up space. There's nothing in there for me except for coupons, which, considering the times we're in, they aren't like, hey, take this much money off and stuff like that. They'll do some deals, but it's, it's mostly like Wendy's and Buffalo Wild Wings. Other places might be doing it, but I have the little Wendy's app. I get messages and notifications from that every once in a while, like, hey, get a free Baconator or this or that when you order this, stuff like that. But that's the week. Crazy week. We'll see what happens next. Stay safe, of course. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Stay safe. And it's just crazy. Things are still crazy out here. But stay safe. I know things are even crazier because I've seen some of the people going out. I hope they're staying safe. They're not, but I hope they're fine. That's all you can really hope for. But stay safe. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you guys have any comments, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I will see you all next week.